The traditional devil mask, most often seen on walls and in dance rituals, is intriguing and somewhat terrifying. Originally worn when performing dance rituals to heal the chronically ill, get rid of evil spirits, and of course, evil eye, the handcrafted mask is made by artisans whose craft is passed down from generation to generation. Having a mask at the entrance of your home is a good thing. It gets rid of evil eye and evil spirits. Thank you for joining us on Kaleidoscope with me, Savithri Rodrigo. Today on the show, we are exploring pain with the power of poetry. We are wondering where our money has gone, and we are looking at an unbowed legacy. A massive thank you to our wonderful partners on the show, Srilanka Live, CDB and The Daily Morning. Kaleidoscope is on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. And if you like our show, subscribe and follow us for weekly updates.
CDB Hybrid Leasing. Enjoy exclusive interest rate and much more for hybrids, plug-in hybrids and EV vehicles.
Here's a quick look at the week that was on CDB Snapshot. The Supreme Court determines that the contentious online safety bill can be passed with a simple majority in Parliament. Sri Lanka's total volume of digital retail payments could potentially increase to 77.2 billion rupees by 2027. For the first time in international cricket, Sri Lankan batsman Angelo Matthews is given out for failing to face a ball in 2 minutes. Spain is Lonely Planet's #1 sustainable travel destination for 2023. Denmark is leading a green revolution and launches a countrywide plan to shift to a plant-based food system. Italian designers introduce a biodegradable burial pod, an organic casket to let your remains give life one last time.
You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Srilanka Life.
Welcome to Srilanka Life News Capsule. Budget 2024 is next week, and what are we to expect? Nothing new, you may think, but on the other hand, what happened to those proposals and promises of last year and the year before that and before that? Verite Research delved in and has been tracking the progress of these proposals over several months. The findings are startling. I had a chat with Research Director of Verite Research, Subhashini Abesinghe, for more info. Subhashini, why is it that we have such little accountability for budget proposals year on year?
At the time the budget speech is made, there is wide media coverage of the proposals and evaluation of whether the budget is progressive, whether it's good for the country, is really determined largely based on the proposals made by the Minister of Finance in his speech. But we don't have a practice of reporting progress made in last year's budget proposals when you're presenting a new set of proposals in the budget speech for the next year. Lack of accountability is a serious issue, especially when the Minister of Finance presents these proposals in the Parliament and it's almost like a pledge to the people. This is how I will be using your tax money to improve your well-being and to develop the country. So unfortunately, we do not see a lot of improvements in both transparency and accountability in this area over the years, which is a significant concern.
So when you look at Budget 2023, where do you think we have fallen short?
So we tracked progress during the first 6 months of 2023. The progress of 25 proposals made by the minister in last year's budget speech. The value was 49 billion rupees. 48% of the proposals had no information on progress at all, despite Right to Information Act requiring government agencies to proactively disclose information online. There was no response for these 48 proposals, even in response to right information requests. The balance 20%, we got information, but the information was not sufficient to assess progress. So that means 68% of the proposals, we did not have any information to assess progress, and that is extremely unfortunate. And this is a significant increase from the past. Actually, what we've noticed is in 2022 and 2023, the lack of disclosure has substantially increased. If you take an average between 2017 and 2021, the information, the number of proposals where information was not available was around 45%. But in 2022 and 2023, this percentage has increased to almost 70%. So not knowing what happened to the proposals, 70% of the proposals, is a very worrying trend. And that is basically the main finding of our assessment for 2023, Savithri.
Now for a quick look at the market this week for stock, oil and gold. After weeks of lackluster trading, the all-share price index at the Colombo Stock Exchange finally moved up by nearly 3% this week, with average daily turnover levels increasing to over 1 billion rupees. Oil prices fell after sliding to their lowest levels in over 3 months due to concerns over lower demand from the world's top oil consumers, the United States and China. Gold prices remained steady this week, with investors looking to US federal interest rates for guidance. Nobody does it like the French. Le Cyclope, a street artist from the land of baguettes, recently painted angry Lego heads onto city bollards while everyone was asleep. Climate change is real, and this artist is out to prove it in inventive ways. Nick Brand's stunning portraits of South Pacific islands underwater is called Sink, Rise, and they're proving the adverse effects of climate change. Paralysis is no longer the end of the road for people in Japan. A cafe in Tokyo is hiring paralyzed people to remotely control robot servers so that they can keep earning.
I was a child when I was asked if I am eating from a shovel. I wasn't. I was a budding teenager when I was questioned about the extra serving of rice. I had to justify. In my 20s, I ate my depression away. I stuffed food in the void in me, and it worked.
You just heard a poem read by Isurini Mallavarachi, who was a Gratian Prize shortlister 2023 this year. And she is the first in our series where we will be featuring headlining authors and poets to be featured at the Galle Literary Festival next year. In addition to being an amazing poet, Isurini is also a lecturer, an attorney at law, and a researcher focused on human rights and gender equality. Isurini's debut collection has been described as a window into the life of a Sri Lankan queer soul. She has a difficult and fascinating story behind her literary pursuits, and she's with me today on Kaleidoscope. Let's talk. Isurini, you've had a difficult time, as you mentioned in your poem, putting it out like that. How much can you reveal of those times?
I've been on medication for depression for quite some time, and ever since I was around 18-ish, I had this thing where I used to harm myself. But then I woke up one day and realized that I'm not going to do this anymore. And then I started writing instead.
So your Gratian Prize shortlisted collection, Flowers Teach Me to Let Go, is kind of a soft title, but it has been described as hard-hitting.
I didn't mean it to be soft or hard. I just put myself out there. And I think once you have put it out there, it's up to the reader to decide for themselves whether it's hard-hitting or soft or whatever it is.
And now, what made you decide that you actually want to publish this collection, knowing that it is going to lay your soul bare?
I think it's really important that we talk And I think I associate talking out loud about your issues, your trauma, and whatever it is, as something related to justice. And I think it's really important that we talk things out without keeping it for ourselves or stigmatizing it or something like that.
And tell me a little bit about your next book that you've already published.
It's called My Mind is a Light Switch. So the idea is that my mind works in extremes. Like if it's happiness, it's extreme happiness. If it's sadness, it's extreme sadness. So there's no middle ground. So I like to address that factor about myself in the poetry collection.
What is the scary part about actually letting people know who you are at the end of the day when you write these poems?
It's very scary in the sense that people are going to be like, oh, I didn't know that you went through this. And people will like, especially because my work tend to have some, intimate sexual kind of references, and this is a very conservative society that we live in. So people can be like, oh, I didn't know that you did this. I didn't know you did that. And then that's why I wrote in my dedication of the first book, don't see me in my work, see yourself.
What are the challenges you come across when putting your thoughts down into your poetry?
When you write, you confront the truth. And sometimes truth can be very scary, And when it comes to writing, that's a scary part. And when it comes to publishing, the scary part is that we are publishing it in the society that we live in. And that is scary.
You've been shortlisted for the Gratian, and also you're a headlining author headlining poet at the Galle Literary Festival coming up in January. How do you feel?
I feel very happy about it, but I also feel very scared. I feel like there are a lot of expectations when you are like that. But then again, I'm hoping to take things slow and, be kind to myself and all that.
For those of you who remember the Lanka Oberoi, this was one of the pennants of the 3 that hung in the atrium. It's one of the longest batik pennants in the world. And today I'm at the Barefoot Loft Gallery celebrating 100 years of Ina de Silva's birth, and also an exhibition called Imagining New Natures, Collaborations with Ina, bringing back to life the work and the life and times of Ina de Silva. This exhibition focuses on Ina de Silva's vision for textiles in Sri Lanka, amplified through close collaborations with prominent artists, all sharing a love for nature interpreted in different styles and mediums. The Ina de Silva Trust was also launched at this exhibition. A member of the exhibition design team, Dilashini Kartigesu, added some insight on the featured collaborators.
Lucky Senanayaka illustrates aspects of nature through his pen and ink drawings, watercolor, and his batik works in a language of magical realism. Anil Gamini Jayasuriya, being a prolific artist since childhood, developed a drawing style of dissembling and reassembling dynamic aspects of a creature to display them with bolder characteristics. Ismat Rahim's drawings, paintings, and textiles explore historical narratives and contemporary worlds in art and architecture. Hema Dharmasena's work with batik is visualized as a dense, pattern-like combination of natural elements, while Padmini Jayasinghe combined both vibrant colors and finely detailed drawings of nature that complemented the textile works by Ina de Silva.
So this weekend, hop on over to the Barefoot Loft and check out some of Ina's wonders. We'll see you next week.